And he said,
for God knows how
well,
long.
I'll kill myself before that.
Oh, that's
Well,
good.
right.
Good
I mean,
strategy.
respectfully, that
Because
might have been a red flag that you maybe you should have left that
Right,
a little
So
sooner, potentially.
Well, that really, you know what? That was the end.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you don't care about me enough to want to be around for me. So where do I fit in this?
Leaning closer. This is your time. Hit record on your crooked life. What's your story? Hey, say the words out loud. Mike and Scott gonna crack that crowd. What's your story? Hey, turn it up, let's go. Every voice, every scar, every road. What's your story? Mike and Scott. Let's talk.
Hey everyone, Mike Lindstrom. What's your story? My man, Scott Lee. So I'm excited about today, man. We're loving bringing in guests for the second time. This is something we've not had a chance to do, being a younger podcast.
We're gonna have like a jacket or something.
Oh, like an SNL?
Like an SNL. Like once you've been here 5 times, you have to have.
So the next guest, we got to get her along for the 3rd or 4th time, and then we'll get the 4th time jacket for the podcast.
We gotta get we have to have a thing.
Going with that.
Gotta get
I like where you're going with that. So we always like to bring on people, number one, that are exciting, cool, relevant, on stuff, but also the people who've had changes in their life. And she's only been a couple months here, but a lot of life change we thought would be absolutely relevant for anybody in the dating world, the business world. She's got a book coming out, so we want to talk about that. So without further ado, Julie Xander. So what's been going on with your girlfriend?
Thanks for having me back. So fun. I loved being on the first time, so thanks for having me back
Absolutely.
on the second time.
No brainer.
Well, there's always stuff going on in my life. You're like, I'd like to follow you for a day, see all the places.
I want to see
you
your
go.
schedule. That's what I said. We want to see
Show me your
a
calendar.
snapshot of her calendar. What the hell she's doing every day.
It's busy.
So let's talk about what's been going on here in your life, and
Well,
we're going to take down some rabbit holes.
Yeah, I know. I love the rabbit hole. So when I was on the last time, we discussed at the very end, it was kind of just a shout out that I have a book coming out. So that's out. The Kindle version's out. Audible's coming. And then the paperback book is going to be launching at the end of May.
It's
so
called
that's
6-Figure Chicks.
6-Figure Chicks. So 18 women who are all 6-figure chicks telling their story, because it's
that's
really
very
easy
cool.
to look at somebody and go, oh, wow, they're so successful. And we really break it down and get really authentic about how we got there and the struggles that we went through, because life doesn't go in a straight line. Business isn't in a straight line. There's highs, there's lows, and it can be really tricky. And I think that's really cool that all these 18 women, including myself, share what we went through and how we got over those hurdles.
A great way to present the information. I've read, there's a book called Founders at Work about startup founders, and I don't remember how many people, but everybody has their own chapter.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to kind of progress. It's like I can read about Julie's experience on, I don't know, one flight, and I don't have to finish like the whole book. I don't have to remember everything. And
Exactly.
I jump back in the next time, and it's like,
It's definitely great marketing. You got 18
Whoever else
people
it is.
marketing the book. That's a no-brainer.
that's smart.
Yeah, and you're right. You are so right about that. We have such limited time that you could read one chapter
yeah.
and put the book down.
And you don't have to remember,
No.
right? Because now I start over with
Another
Sally's
person's
or
story.
somebody else's or whatever, right?
And you never know how one person's struggle might resonate with you, and you might just get that one little nugget out of it that helps you progress to the next stage of your career.
So give us a glimpse of just your cross-section. What kind of professions are we
Oh
representing
my
here?
gosh, literally every profession you could think of, from real estate agents to one woman actually coaches for TED Talks. We have another woman who's a veterinarian. There's so many, just all walks of life, but the commonality between all of them is it doesn't matter what your business is. The hurdles that we go through are very similar. And this feeling of not being able to succeed or not being good enough, or you hit these walls and you think, can I do this? And all of these women have figured out a way to get over it.
So cool. Have you all assembled in one place ever,
Yeah.
other than virtual?
Yeah. And when we got together, actually gives me chills. When we got together, I was walking into a room of people. I'm like, these are my people. They're all just so driven and humble at the same time, just real.
Are they all from here?
They're all from here. So this one is Scottsdale Volume 2. So there's a Scottsdale Volume 1. So they did 2 books for Scottsdale because there was such so many cool women here.
Yeah.
But now she just launched one in Houston, and she's got a worldwide one. She's going global. As she's hitting all these different states and pulling together these entrepreneurial women to talk.
Is there anything beyond the book? Are you guys going to do TED Talks,
Gonna go on
live
the road,
events,
going on the
social
road
work?
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from a monetary point of view,
You
we
have to
could
go
really-
back and watch the last podcast.
That's from the last episode, right?
Yeah.
From a monetary point of view. There's a lot of opportunities here, though, for
Oh,
real.
there's so much opportunity. And yes, Mel Carr is the one that created it. And she is, I think she just needs more hours in the day. She's doing so much with it. And I think it's almost creating a business sorority of sorts that, yes, stay tuned, because I'm sure it's going to explode.
That's great. Now, would you guys, another official launch you guys are going to do in the summertime?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So in May, I'm hoping to do a book signing May 21st at Alice and Olivia, which is one of my favorite clothing stores if we want to talk fashion. So we're going to have an event there, and it'll be a fundraising event, and we'll sign books there. So that's going to be really fun.
What was your favorite part of the contribution of the process?
I have been bugged by so many people to write a book, and I'm a talker. I'm not a writer. And also to sit my butt down for an amount of time to actually get the words out. And so this was really a challenge to sit down and write these words on paper. And in doing so, it was really kind of emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard so much feedback from people going, wow, that really touched me hearing how you did what you did. And also for myself going, wow, I did that.
Yeah.
How did I do that? Breaking into being an influencer when nobody knew what it was, and everybody was looking at me going, what is she doing? And I just kept plugging along like, okay, you guys say what you want to say. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? So talk about this whole influencer concept that we talked about in the last episode, but since we did social media with you in the last month, Scott will call me up and he goes, man, who are these people commenting and liking? I'm like, buddy, that's what an influencer does. She's got, and I even called you. I said, who the hell are these people? Do you know these people? And she's like, these are my people. We all support each other.
That's
It doesn't
right.
matter if they're in the book or not. They could be in Europe. I've seen a lot of European ladies that are doing fashion that are over there. Hey, great stuff, Mike and Scott. I'm like, who are you? But I'm like, wow, you really do have a reach beyond Arizona and Scottsdale when you really dig into who's looking at your stuff.
Absolutely.
That's powerful.
It is. Well, that's part of being a badass chick.
Yeah.
It's just going out there and putting it out there. And so many women are afraid to do that. If we were more authentic, everybody, I don't know, this world would be a better place.
Yeah.
So those of us who've chosen to share it all, from seeing my butt to seeing my face without makeup to a bad hair day to whatever, being really vulnerable to sharing my dating stories.
Get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
We have budget some time for that one. 'Cause
Yeah.
We got to hit to that one.
Yeah.
You got any good hater stories since we spoke last? Any good haters, commenters, DMers? You always got some good ones.
I know. You're going to have to give me more time. I don't
So
think
people are leaving you alone. That's good.
at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you're right, though. The whole makeup thing, obviously I don't have makeup, but people appreciate that. She's got no makeup on. Boom. And then you can see her doing everything front to back. Here's the brush. Here's what I do. And then voila. I don't know, hour, half hour, whatever the hell it
Yeah.
takes.
Well, how many 51-year-old women go on without any makeup and going, this
I am
is
who
it.
I am. I am who I
I'm
am.
walking my dogs in my pajamas. Don't care.
Yeah. But that's vulnerability.
I just think that so many people struggle in so many ways. And when you hear other people share their struggles and you resonate with it, you realize I'm not alone. This isn't just me. And that's a really good feeling.
Yeah.
When you're feeling like, I am such a loser. I can't do this. I don't know how to go. And then you hear somebody who's got 3 jobs, taking care of their kids, and they're a single mom, and they just freaking push through when they're on their last freaking leg, and somehow they make it over the hump and they succeed.
Yeah.
You realize, okay, I guess I got to keep pushing.
Yeah. So one thing that I got feedback from some of my people from your podcast.
Yeah.
We were on for a full hour or whatever it was on that Wednesday night. And you were talking about yourself. And I said, I got a take on you. And you're like, what's your belief about me? And I said, you're crazy. And then her look on her face is like, okay, where the hell are you going with that? Well, we're live. I said, you're crazy. Cool. And when
Was
you're
this
crazy,
before or
cool,
after you were dancing?
that was after.
After.
Oh, that, you had to get my hey. That's one of my favorite songs, Robin Thicke. I picked it. That's my
Hey,
walk-up
hey.
song.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I wouldn't say I'm crazy cool. I think you know me better now. I am like really, like what you see is what you get.
Right.
I'm pretty even keel. I just say it like it is. And I just am not interested in, what's the word for it? Sugarcoat it. That's the word I was looking for.
That's true.
You also have to be a little bit crazy to be an entrepreneur in general, to push yourself with a crazy schedule. We were talking before about, I'm so
Yeah, what
busy
is
in this,
the-
and you're doing this, and you're doing that.
It's
All
a
of that is like,
drive. You're right. You're right. I mean, listen, my whole family, I have 3 brothers and my parents are native New Yorkers. And my whole family are entrepreneurs. I don't think I know anything different. It's like, that's what you do. Everybody in my family is, I think I'm the black sheep of my family. Everybody is just uber successful. So there's a lot of competition and we're all really driven. And so it's just a way of life. I don't think I know any different than that.
So how do you find ways to quiet some of that noise and that chaos and just be like okay with yourself without all of that other stuff
Is there
going
quiet
on
in your life?
Yes.
Because a lot of people, myself included, I'm used to go and having all sorts of things going on in my life. And then the moment it gets quiet and calm, it's very uncomfortable.
So that's the thing. I have really figured that one out. And actually, I think COVID made me, I'm an extroverted introvert. So I can go out and talk and be on live and do all that. But like I come home and I just want to be home. And I got to the point with COVID where you can have your groceries delivered, you can have your clothes delivered, you can have, right? I don't have to go anywhere for anything. So I order everything. I actually am starting to make myself go out. Yesterday, I took myself to lunch. I walked around the Scottsdale Quarter, which I found is very expensive because I wound up buying stuff, including lunch, because I don't care. Like I could eat anything and I could eat cardboard and I'm happy at home that I ordered from my Walmart delivery. Eggs is definitely a staple. So I am super comfortable at home. I'm almost too comfortable at home by myself with my 4 dogs. So that's a problem. So yeah, what happens is I'm out all day socializing, busy, talking, going. Working out, that is definitely what keeps the crazy away. So I'm not crazy cool. I'm just kidding.
I know.
That's going to be from a monetary point of view. From a crazy cool point of
Crazy
view.
cool will stick forever, at least with us.
It is going to stick forever. But the fitness for anybody out there who has a lot going through your brain, like I think that is the one thing that just clears it all away for me. I don't know how people don't work out. Of course, I love the way it makes me look, but the way it makes me feel, and I think this is where people get exercising wrong. Most people exercise to look good, right? They're like, I got to go to the gym so I can lose 5 pounds. Like I go to the gym. Yes, I like the benefits that it makes me look good, but I would be freaking crazy. Yeah. I would be absolutely crazy if I didn't. So that's the one thing. And then the other thing is, like I said, I run around all day. So I really enjoy coming home. And the mornings, like I said, I don't really want to see anybody before 11. I get up. I have the same routine. I'm a routine girl. I have a routine when I go to bed. I take a bath every night before I go to bed. Like I have my whole nighttime routine, which is so important. And my morning routine, every morning I get up. First thing we do is we go out to my park, which is in my backyard for my 4 dogs. They run around. We come in, make breakfast, their breakfast. We all eat. Then when we're all fed and I've done all my posting, we go take a walk. Then we come back. I do my cardio. Then I I like a really quiet, leisurely morning. And then we hit the road and it's off.
Forget it. I got to borrow that. The morning.
I would love to have that morning.
I don't have that at all, man.
I mean, can you have that more? So there's some people that can't, right? They have to be at the office. They're 9 to 5. Oh my gosh, I could never. So that's one of the benefits of being an entrepreneur, right? Is it's your schedule. You work for you. I don't have anybody telling me you can't curse. You can't wear this dress. It's too sexy. You can't do this.
I get told that stuff all the time. Can't curse. Can't wear that dress.
You can't go shirtless.
Better hair, bro. What's up that hair?
Show your ass. So I think that's why I have to be an entrepreneur. I teach aerobics. I've worked for a million companies and I continue working for them. I work for a brokerage, but you're still kind of independent.
Yeah.
You know?
So I was going to go backwards a little bit in terms of the family. You were brought up in this entrepreneurship, that they were traditional. They didn't have social media back then. Your dad, right?
Yeah.
What do they think of all this? When they see, oh, there's Julie doing her thing again, or even when you're shooting something right there and they're 10 feet away, are they just used to it now and it's no big deal? That's what you do? Or what's their belief about that?
I'm never shooting when they're around.
Okay.
Maybe it's occasionally with my mom, but my dad, occasionally I see him looking at my stories and might be with a bare naked ass, right? My dad has never said anything. I know he's really proud of me. He loved this podcast, by the way. He watched it. He watches everything I do. The book, 6 Figure Chicks, he read that. He's definitely a fan of mine. He couldn't believe how amazing the women were in that book. Yeah. He's reading about 18 women and he was like, wow, this is really incredible. But I have asked him, trying to grow my business. I'm like, Dad, help me. He's like, I don't know anything about this. I can't help you with this. I don't get it.
Yeah.
This world is so different.
Well, the tough part, I think, is trying to figure out how you scale yourself.
Yeah.
Because you are the
brand.
Product.
Yeah. If it's
the
not
brand.
me, it's like a surgeon, right? If I'm not doing the surgery, I'm not making the money.
Right.
If I'm not engaging in doing the video.
So you have to find ways to diversify or increase your pricing. Right? And find ways to monetize that don't require so much time and energy.
Right.
Or from a monetary point of
From a
view,
monetary
she
point of
takes
view.
some of these relationships where she gets a lot of free stuff and says, you know what, those days are over. We're going to start charging you a lot of money for the
Right.
promotions I'm doing for you.
Y'all hearing that?
Yeah.
Brands?
Yeah.
We did mention that a little bit on the last time. We said, hey, give us a weekend. We'll
It's
figure
true.
out.
In my world, when you consult, the first thing they come to you with is like equity,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe that's the version of like, here's some clothes or whatever.
Right.
In the beginning, I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet. Like that could become something really lucrative. And now I'm like, just fuck you, pay me. I don't want to wait 10 years for your equity to maybe become something or whatever. It's like, no, I want some cash. Actually, right now. I don't want your swag. I want some cash.
Right.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
But it's hard to scale yourself when you are the brand.
Yeah.
I have that problem.
Yeah. I do too. I think the bigger challenge for you, though, is you've set the tone because you are so abundant and you've been so gracious and amazing to your people. It's hard for you to pivot. But if you just put a line in the sand and say, okay, these are my veteran clients or my legacies, but here forward, here's what's going to be.
Yeah.
That's not hard. But going back to people who are used to certain things, that's harder.
You limit the access to you.
And I don't want to. Like, I love them. They've all become my friends.
Right.
I like
Good
helping
stuff,
them. I like helping them.
Yeah.
But that just goes back to, from a monetary point of view, I hate asking for money. I hate money. Let's go back to I hate money.
Yeah.
I hate asking for money. So there's a boy that in my brokerage, one of the realtors sent out a mass email and said, hey, my daughter knows this family in Colorado. 4-year-old boy has brain cancer. They're coming to Mayo to get treatment. We really need a 3-bedroom. If somebody could donate a condo, a casita, a house. I had just bought a condo, a 3-bedroom condo that I was going to lease out, but I hadn't done it yet. I just purchased it. So I called my mom first and I said, Mom, I just got this email. What do you think? Should I call him and tell him I have this place? And my mom's like, really? You're going to do that? I go, well, I mean, I have this condo and nobody's in it. Like, why wouldn't I do that? And she's like, really?
Yeah.
I go, yeah. So anyways, I called them up. Called up the realtor, and they're right now he's receiving treatment. They're living in my condo for free.
That's nice.
Until the treatment's done. But for me, I just pay it forward.
Yeah, that's powerful. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool story.
Yeah, I texted with the guy last night. So
How old's the young boy, if you don't mind me asking?
he's 4. How is he?
Oh,
Yeah,
my
he's
God.
4.
It just breaks my heart.
4 years old. They have a 4-year-old and a 9-month-old. It's unbelievable.
Oh, my God. God bless you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Everybody
we've been
say
talking a
prayer.
little bit, and trust me, we're friends. I'm not her coach. She's not my coach. We're beginning coaching each other, the dating world. Last time you were here, you talked about some things were happening in your dating life, but there's other things that have transpired. So let's let you tell the facts first, and then we'll start diving into some of the stuff about being single. What happened?
I think everybody thought this is the guy.
Okay.
Seeing pictures of him. Of course, I had the haters going, why are you posting him? And I'm like, it's my life. You guys are following it. I know I have so many really, truly, actually, at the end of the day, it's nice. I really do have so many cheerleaders that are like waiting for me to find the guy.
Yeah.
So every time I see somebody now, they're like, dang, what happened? I thought he was the one. I was like, what? Me too. But no. You start dating somebody and you put your best foot forward. Everybody does. And then slowly, as the relationship goes on, people start relaxing into who they really are, which, gosh, could we just be who we are from the get-go? Like, you don't have to worry. I show up as me. Crazy cool.
Yeah.
And so the control issues, like you didn't push your chair in, you left water on the counter, you're going to leave that there, or your makeup wipe, I was rushing to get ready to go out to dinner, was next to the garbage, not in the garbage. I'm not a slob. Let's be clear. I am not a slob. However, 3 kids, 4 dogs later, you got to let stuff go.
Right.
And when I was raising my kids and they were little, I was a perfectionist because I was married to a perfectionist. I would be like, okay, kids, we're not going to school because your bed's not made. We're not going to school because your outfit doesn't match. We're not going to school. You'll be late. I don't care. This house has to be perfect and you have to look perfect. And damn, my kids, they looked perfect.
Yeah.
But we were miserable. All of us were miserable.
Exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Very.
Exhausting just thinking about it.
Yeah,
It's
it
exhausting.
is.
And right, like you both have kids, right? Like when they're babies, they spill their Cheetos on the floor and then they step on it when they're getting out. It's just disaster, right? And you go get the car washed and 5 minutes later they're crying. So what do? You hand them the bag of Cheetos and all over again. And I had a counselor and she said to me, so what happens if you leave the house and the beds aren't made? Is anybody coming over?
What's the answer?
I'm like, no. So is anybody going to see it? I'm like, no. So really, what's the problem here?
But
Like,
do you still make the bed?
I would make my kids make it. No. So
What about now?
No, I make
I
my
make my
bed.
bed. I make
my bed.
make your bed?
No,
You don't? For real?
not very often.
All right.
I'd say
Just check.
2 times a week.
All right, just check.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I do make my bed primarily because I love the way my bed looks when
Yeah.
it's made.
It's the first win of the day. First
Yeah,
win of
it
the
is,
day.
right.
Making the
That
day.
there is that Instagram about
Yeah.
the military guy. He
Yeah.
says it. And I feel like that with my workouts too. When you start the day off right, that just goes back to my whole routine in the morning. But that was the moment that I realized that you got to choose your battles. And it was making all of us miserable. And it really didn't matter. Granted, I was having company over at my house. You better believe everything will be perfect. But day to day, if my house isn't perfect, who's here to see it?
Mm-hmm.
So I just realized that control piece, I can't be with somebody that I have to tiptoe around. I'm not going to tiptoe around my house. I'm not going to tiptoe around another person's house. Life is meant to be lived and enjoyed. And when you start trying to nitpick and control all those little things, no thanks.
Yeah. So one other question that came up in our conversation piece is, and this is a big topic for a lot of people, is drinking in a relationship.
Yeah.
Some people do, some people don't. I mean, I've had people tell me, Mike, I like to have a drink from time to time, but I could never date that guy because he's bone sober guy and does his 12-step program. It just won't work. I'm not an alcoholic, but I just can't be around that. So, and vice versa.
Straight, right? Straight. This is where
So-
dating at our age gets to be really hard because you're trying to combine when you're younger and you kind of decide together and you grow together. Like, this is what we find is normal. If you're both partiers, then, and hopefully you grow and you figure out what that looks like. But at this point, my lifestyle is health and wellness. And I really understand moderation. But what I've found with these guys is they don't have moderation. They drink way too much, but then they're like, but I work out. But it doesn't, just because you work out doesn't take away all that alcohol and staying out late and just drinking till you feel like crap. And then what it does to the sex life and what it does to intimacy, and it ruins the next day. And moreover, the biggest thing that I just can't wrap my head around is how unhealthy they look.
Mm-hmm.
Like their skin shows it and they get sick way more often because let's face it, if you're drinking that much alcohol, you're not getting the appropriate sleep. If you're not getting the appropriate sleep, your body's not healing the way it should. Your immune system is depleted and
yeah.
you're going to
Yeah.
get sick.
But how do you, but you knew in advance that the guy did drink. So what's the rules of engagement in the dating world anymore?
Well,
If you're not
that's
being
the thing.
single, how do you do that anymore?
Moderation.
But do you ask up front in the first date, like, hey, buddy, tell me your deal. Don't bullshit me. How much do you drink per week? Do you get it out of the way up front or do you kind of watch it and see how it morphs? I mean, what's the rules on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm learning more as we go here because I've now had two really guys that are just alcoholics and they look different.
But the biggest thing is, though, if you put in your profile on any of these sites, say smoker,
No
non-smoker,
alcoholic. Yeah.
okay, that's a fair question. But now you say moderate drinker or whatever. But what does that really mean to people anymore?
Well, I think that most people are in denial that they are alcoholics. And because if they're functioning, right?
Yeah.
I get up and I work out every day. I'm not an alcoholic. Okay. You had 6 drinks last night, every night. Every night is Saturday
2 bottles
night.
of wine, buddy. Yeah, 2 bottles of wine last night. That's a big deal.
That's a Tuesday.
Yeah, that's
For some people.
Yeah, but I was with my friends.
Yeah.
It was a social
But that's
night.
the way it's justified
Right.
It's
for,
justified,
for so many
right?
people.
It's justified.
Yeah.
And it's funny because there's 2 different viewpoints. One was like, I'm going to go out and get lit tonight. And the other one's just like, I'm just enjoying my wine times 4 bottles. Right.
Yeah.
So, and when you meet, I think that alcohol takes the pressure off a little bit, right? It kind of loosens up your inhibitions. You're feeling a little nervous, makes you a little more relaxed. It just makes it easier to connect, let your hair down a little bit. So there's that. So I think in the beginning of a relationship, people maybe drink a little bit more. Even I think I drink a little bit more. But then you realize, oh, wait, that wasn't just getting to know you drinking. That's just you.
That's who you are. And that's how you show up.
And I just am like, it's not me. It's
Yeah.
just not my lifestyle. But I don't mind somebody who drinks. I'd like to have a drink.
Yeah, sure.
I like to have a couple drinks. I think it's social, right? It makes a dinner longer. It makes
It's part of our culture. I mean, let's be real. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the younger generations have definitely have a different view on it. Like our kids, if you will, a lot of them don't drink.
The thing that I think about as a single person is if I'm going to meet somebody new, I'm 48 years old, so I have, I don't know, 30, 40 years left. Who knows how long? Don't I want to be healthy with you and have you be as healthy as possible for the
my
rest of
gosh.
the amount of
Thank
time
you
we
for-
have left?
Okay,
Yeah.
so thank you for
So
saying
like
that.
I would be choosing a particular lifestyle because I want to maximize my time with you
Yeah.
Okay,
if we were
I
together.
really love that you said that because I had that conversation, not with this last one, but before. I said, I love you and I want you around.
right.
I want you around as long as I can have
Yeah.
you. and you're not taking care of yourself, I would think that you would want to take care of yourself for me.
For me, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you could walk outside and get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay.
But you can decrease the odds a little bit.
Right.
I don't have to fully engage in behaviors or
Reckless
activities
behavior,
that we know are going to limit my time on the
So
planet.
true.
And so
Right.
his point was, if you're not living, you're dying, and I'm going to live my life to the fullest every single day, period. And that made me go, okay, well, I also don't want to take care of you because you're a stroke or a heart attack victim. And now I'm going to be taking care of an invalid for the rest of my life. I
Right.
watched my father-in-law have stroke after heart attack after stroke after heart attack. I mean, he just kept declining until he died, and it was miserable. And
Yeah.
his wife was his caretaker.
I think it sounds cool, crazy cool to say, I'm just going to live my life all this way. But it's actually extremely selfish because you're not thinking about the collateral damage. You're not thinking about the people who are next to you that have to clean up the fucking mess.
Yeah.
Bingo.
So if I go
Absolutely.
nuts the whole time and I'm living my life, but then the last 5-6 years of my life, I'm on dialysis or I'm going through hell.
Yeah.
Now I've just signed you up to be my
To be-
caretaker.
Well, and he said,
for God
you know,
knows how
well,
long.
I'll kill myself before that.
Oh, that's
Well,
good. That's
right.
good
I mean,
strategy.
respectfully,
Because
that might have
the-
been a red flag that you maybe should have left that
Right,
a
right.
little
So
sooner,
the-
potentially.
Well, that really, you know what? That was the end.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you don't care about me enough to want to be around for me. So where do I fit in this?
So what's going to be the new rule then? So now that you've had
good
people in your life, family, haters, and otherwise, your advocates saying, why are you putting this guy out there? So now you're an influencer. Do you have a new rule and say, hey, I'm not putting any guy on any of my social until it's the 6-month mark? Until what? I mean, what's the new
That's
rule
a
of
really good
engagement?
question. I think it's still the same. And I'll tell you why. Because for all the haters out there that are like, Julie, why are you posting? People follow me. Like I said, I feel like after this breakup, or even while I was dating him, I had so many people reaching out going, I'm so happy for you. You deserve this. You are the best person I know. I really hope this works. And then when they all of a sudden didn't see him, they were like, oh my gosh, what happened? I'm so sorry.
I thought that same thing.
Yeah.
That's-
So my followers are following my life.
Mhm.
They really are. They want to see what's going on in my life. And they are, for the most part, cheerleaders. I do have my haters, but for the most part, they're my cheerleaders. They see where I've come from and what I'm trying to accomplish. And I was just having this conversation that I can work really hard with my business and get where I want to go with my business. I can work really hard on my body. I can do all the longevity, but I can't make a relationship happen.
Mhm.
I can't.
Yeah.
And that's hard for somebody who makes shit happen. Pardon my French.
Yeah.
I'm a person that makes things happen.
GSD, baby. Get shit done.
Get shit done. And I'm a doer.
Yeah.
And I do what it takes to get things done. But it doesn't matter in this arena what I do.
Yeah.
I can't make a relationship appear.
So are you doing matchmaking at all? Are you on Tinder?
To the man who's been married for 100 years. Scott, do you want to pipe in?
Oh, but me? I know what I do.
Yeah,
I do.
By the way, let's go ahead
I
and flip
do
the,
nothing.
let's go ahead and flip the script.
Yeah.
Scott, do tell.
I do nothing.
Do tell.
I do nothing. I do nothing.
We'll wrangle Scott in. So this is actually a really great topic
Yep.
because I've worked with a ton of matchmakers and I have paid a matchmaker one time. It's fraudulent, pretty much. I shouldn't say that. That's a little bit harsh.
Yeah.
But I think that this company is fraudulent. So you can message me and I'll tell you who it is. Then there are all these other matchmakers. The reality of it is, and I love Brandon. I do a weekly show with him on dating and he has incredible information. He's a super smart guy and he deals with pretty much billionaires. And these billionaires want to 3D print, just like I'm telling you, I can make shit happen. These billionaires, they can make shit happen. And so they pay Brandon and they say, make shit happen. I'm paying you to do this. And I want her to be 5 foot tall with triple D boobs. I want her to hike bikes, no ski, water ski, cook my dinner, be a chef, be an Olympic swimmer, and a massage therapist.
Super
And,
realistic.
Yeah.
and he'll go out and he will find women that fit what he's looking for and that would be willing. And there are a lot of women who are willing to give this man all those things for a price.
Yep.
I can't.
No.
Not only that, but the 60-year-old billionaire, he wants a 40-year-old, right? So what is that? Where does that put me? That puts me at a 50-year-old with a 70-year-old.
Yeah. And then your caretaker for sure.
Right. And so, and for me, it's not about the money. Again,
Yeah,
from a monetary point of view, I don't work from that place. So anyways, but even still, there is no magic. He can go out and he can try to find women that fit this mold. But at the end of the day, chemistry is an unknown thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What makes people connect and work, unless you're strictly a gold digger and you're like, I'll take anything because it's a transaction.
That's
It's
not
total-
chemistry anymore. That's math.
That's math.
And AI now is doing it. AI is literally creating these algorithms. They've been around. Match.com, these are the ones that have their own algorithm, but they've gotten more beefed up where you can get pretty close. That chemistry piece cannot replace that. It's a vibe you get immediately when you see that person, when you go to dinner with them, when you get a feeling. You got to trust your gut.
We'll have to have a whole segment on Julie's dating life.
It's kind of like you, because you have something that's about business on Wednesday. You do something with Brandon on dating.
Yeah.
Right. What are some of the other ones you do? Just to let everybody know.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Well, I have my workout.
Yep.
I do a workout once a week. I have Making Money, Making Friends once a week. I have my dating show once a week. I have Car Talk, talking real estate once
real
a week.
estate. That's a real estate one.
Yep.
But that's because you're in a car. That's why.
Yeah, Car
okay.
Talk.
What
But
what
we
is your
talk- well,
partner's name again?
Robert.
Robert. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
everybody
you're in a
thinks
car
we're
and they're
married.
talking about real estate and they're just walking up to a beautiful house in Paradise Valley. Where else? Anything
I did have a hater
from that?
from real estate.
A real estate hater.
Yeah, I had a real estate hater. So
Jeez.
yeah.
of all
So
things.
we were talking about this $5 million house, 7,000 square feet, brand new, brand new. What do people want most in a house? What are the two most important things for a woman? Let's say a woman in a
Yeah.
house.
Kitchen
Kitchen and
or a closet.
bingo. From a guy who's been married for a long time.
My
Good
wife,
job.
my wife coaches me. She has her own closet.
Well done.
Bingo. Okay, so we walk into this brand new house, so you can't mess it up because you just built it. It's not like you were dealing with walls and you only had 7,000 square feet, and it was a beautiful home. And I said it was a beautiful home, but we walk into the primary suite. You can't say master anymore. And we go into the closet, and I go, okay, where's the other closet? There was no other closet.
Oh,
it
boy.
was small. And so we're having car talk and we're saying, listen, we went into this house. It was a really beautiful house. We get to the primary and they really messed up. And this woman she just wrote me a new one. She was like,
Was she the listing agent?
no, she was some woman who lives in Paradise Valley and beautiful homes are all around her. And Paradise Valley realtors are so lovely. Gee, why are these Paradise Valley realtors so lovely? Because they're trying to get your business. Like,
Right.
at least you know. And listen, it's my opinion. We weren't saying the house wasn't beautiful, but I think this is a problem on this size of a house. And I'm going to be honest, if I'm showing somebody, listen, if this is their third home and they're going to be here 1 week out of the whole year, who cares, right? They're going to bring their clothes, they're going to hang it in one spot. But if you're going to live in this house and for resale, if somebody wants to live in this house, if they can afford a $5 million house.
And my wife would hire you over that lady who hated on you because she wouldn't want to waste her time going to that home because she heard your commentary, which nailed exactly her top two values, which is the kitchen and the
Bingo.
closet. So
Right,
your
so
authenticity pays off. So you're filtering the leads.
Yeah, I said, listen, we'll agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I just said, listen, I'm sorry you're having a really bad day.
That's a good one. We had a hater and you said something. What'd you say? Keyboard warrior? Would you like, he's picking a fight with one of our haters. I'm like, dude, cancel him.
Most of the
sometimes
time
you
I
want
just
to.
let it go, but every now and then I just feel like
I know. I get
punching
there
back a
too.
little.
Yeah,
I-
he punched back, but you got to punch back a little bit. You can't
just a little.
go out there and
Just
do
a
that.
Yes, I
little.
do. I just said, listen, I said it was a really beautiful house. It's my opinion. I'm sorry you're having a bad day. I hope it gets better. She's like, actually, I'm having a really good day. I just, whatever. And I said, okay.
great.
All right, so where do we find you? Tell us all your socials, name, website, all that stuff, all the
Okay.
stuff you got coming out.
Lifestyle Jewels, Jules. Everybody thinks jewelry. No, my name's Julie. So it's Lifestyle, Jules, Lifestyle Jewels on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, Facebook, and my website, lifestylejewels.com. And yeah,
Run the jewels, baby.
run the jewels.
And the
Cool.
paperback or hardcover of the
Yeah.
book comes out.
So right now it's available on Amazon, the Kindle version. The Audible's coming out soon this month, and end of May is the paperback book.
Great.
Awesome.
We'll have you back on. We love having you on. And thank you so much for everything.
come
you do.
anytime.
No, we're supporting each other. I
Yeah,
really
love it.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So
All right. Signing off. That's another episode with What's Your Story, my man, Scott Leese, Mike Lindstrom, Julie Xander. Hey, everyone. Mike Lindstrom here. Thanks for tuning in to What's Your Story with Mike and Scott. Make sure to hit the subscribe button for new episodes every Tuesday morning and check out a few of our previous episodes below. We'll see you next time.